This is a sad tiger, still recovering from that 2018 AFL campaign. A little bit buoyed though. Tommy Lynch is on his way, so starting to recover a little bit better now. Here today to talk to you about my favourite topic, those multinational companies ripping us off with corporate tax. And there's always been a race to be a monopoly in society, hasn't there? The kings in the Middle Ages used to own that space for years and years, and then democracy came along and kicked them off their thrones, and democracy and the people won their way. But things are starting to edge back, aren't they, with monopolies? And here's a fantastic example of what's happening with monopolies and that wider world out there. So I'll just give you an example of a big corporate, okay, that's starting to grow here, and it is in my space in tax accounting, and that is that wonderful company Xero, X-E-R-O, Xero. And really, in our space in tax accounting, they've been a game changer and a very, very good company. However, we've got to look at what they're doing on the corporate front, because they are typical of what's happening with multinational companies. So, Xero 2018, their turnover about 400 million. Pretty impressive, that isn't it, for a company that's only been around for a few years. 400 million turnover, and this is all public knowledge, they have about a $30 million tax loss or profit. From the profit and loss statement, they've got a $30 million loss. And here it is right here. The top line there, 407 odd million turnover, and there's the 27 odd million dollar loss. That is straight out of the financial statements, which are public knowledge in the Australian corporate arena. So there it is. There is a company. Now, what the hell are they doing? Why are they making losses? They're making losses for a very good reason. And that is either they want to be a monopoly, or they're going to sell out to a company that is either going to be or is a monopoly on the world stage. Because what happens, folks, and this is the new world order in the internet age, the turnover of Xero of 400 odd million, that is the number that any potential target looking at Xero, they will look at that number and they will pay maybe 10, 15, 20 times that 400 million to go and buy Xero one day. So what does Xero care about getting some profit on the bottom line? They don't. So they are driving the top line as mad as they can. And what's happening in the meantime? How much corporate tax are we getting? The Australian and New Zealand people off Xero, what are we getting in corporate tax? You guessed it. And that's why, another great reason why we need at the international level a Sincome tax. And here is a Sincome tax again for the people who've missed it. So it's a combination of an income tax using sales numbers. It's a combination of the sales line and an income tax rate. So when companies like Xero trying to make their way on the international stage, they're paying a corporate tax along the way, or we, as the little people in Australia, are going to get nothing. So please have a look at a Sincome tax. It's going to help solve the rush to go back to the 17 and 1800s where kings ruled the earth, because monopolies are out there, they're getting bigger, they're sneakily taking over the world stage, and unless we get a Sincome tax at the international level, it's going to keep happening and we're going to get poorer. And who are us? About the 99.5% of people out there. There's a great example of where monopolies are slowly taking over. Let's rein them in with a Sincome tax. See ya.